Hello and welcome to Training 10 Flexible Business Ideas for Mums. So this is really right for you if you are a mum on maternity and don't want to leave your babies at the end of your leave. Many of the mums that I work with are in this position. You know, we love spending time with our kids, and actually to go back to 9 to 5 is really quite heartbreaking sometimes. Perhaps you no longer love the corporate world and no longer feel like it's you and you want to find a different way. Or perhaps you just want to find something that you love doing and that you can just flex around your family. So this is a little bit about me. My name is Victoria Caseborn. I've got 14, nearly 15 years experience in business. 10 of those were before I had children. I studied computer science, a degree, and got a very good job, but it wasn't long before I became really, really unhappy. I used to dread going in, I was miserable, and it was probably more than that. And it wasn't until I went to see the doctor because I was just feeling so low, and they wanted me to start taking some tablets, that I realised that I didn't want to take tablets just to numb the misery that I was facing in my career. You know, I was still young, and that just seemed really ridiculous to me. So to me, my only option really was to leave. I think in my heart I knew it wasn't for me. I needed freedom. I was fed up of being told, you know, that there wasn't any place for my ideas. I'm a very ideas-driven person, and I didn't have the freedom to express those or do anything with. I just had to follow someone else's ideas, and that just made me miserable. And in computer science, you don't really have much room for ideas because there's a lot of programming and writing code, which, you know, that's not great for a creative necessarily. So I didn't have any business experience, I didn't have any business training, but I knew that actually probably, and because I'm from a background, you know, my family have always had businesses before my father and my grandfather. You know, I'd seen it being done, and you know, that's about the extent of the training that I did do, and I didn't really get involved in any of it. But I left my job. I had a mortgage. I had 2 cats to feed. Luckily, it was before I had children. But I just knew I couldn't continue. It was basically that or nothing. So I shook like a leaf, I handed in my notice, and I just did whatever I had to do to make it work. I did my business plan, which was ridiculous looking back at it now, but I still got the funding that I needed from the bank. And, you know, I got on the phone and I did what I had to do because I knew this was what I was meant to be doing. And I've never looked back. You know, it was one of the best decisions I made. Really, really, really scary, but absolutely one of the best. I've got complete freedom in my life, and it was that when I had my first child that I realised just how much freedom I did have. I was complete master of my own destiny. I could book I didn't have the dread of the end of maternity leave because I didn't have to go back. You know, I could work around my children, or my child at the time. I could book my childcare depending on what events and what classes I wanted to do, or when I wanted to work. It was completely down to me. No one told me what to do, and I realised how lucky I was. So I wanted to share everything that I'd learned over the past 10 years with as many mums as I could to help them find that same freedom and flexibility too. You know, so you know, I've learned a lot. I've had a lot of expensive lessons. I've learned a lot. I've learned lots the hard way, and I wanted to try and share what I had learned to help as many mums as I could, and save them from all the headaches that I had when I was doing it, because I didn't have any background, I didn't have any mentors, I didn't even know they existed, you know, completely on my own. And just to say that I'm dyslexic, so if there's mistakes, I apologise, but that is, you know, I've learnt to just get on with it. I don't want to hide away and be scared of, you know, like I have been in the past, of sharing anything because I'm worried that there's mistakes. You know, I definitely am a believer that imperfectly done is better than perfectly never done. So I'm very much just getting it out there and hoping that I can help as many people as I can in the process. I'm also very, very creative. So this is More. So this is launched 2016. I'm really, really proud of it. So just to give you a quick whistle-stop tour of More. So M for More is the motivation phase. So it's all about motivating you, showing you, you know, helping you get really clear on what it is you want, and then showing you how you can create a plan in order to achieve it. So really, really engaging with what it is you want, and feeling that real motivation. So why is it that you want it, and really getting to the heart of that. It's about the opportunities, and that's what today is focusing on. So looking at creating your perfect opportunity for you. Now, everybody's different. Sometimes it might be an opportunity that you buy into. Sometimes it might be something that you've built completely from scratch or by yourself. So it's about designing what's right for you. For relationships, it's the most vital part of life, not just business. The power of relationships, not just with other people, but with ourselves, and the relationship we have with our business. It's really, really important, which is why it's a whole element on its own. And E for empowerment. So empowerment, you feel so empowered when you're taking aligned action towards your goal. There's nothing like it. You feel completely alive because you're seeing your dreams become closer. You can start to smell it and touch it and feel it because you're working towards it. And also, when you've built that successful business, empowerment's about sharing it with others. So more is a whole circular movement, really, of helping people set a business and then helping them to help others. So we're creating a real movement around supporting and empowering each other. So it's a real community that I want to build. So that's the empowerment part. So I'm going to jump straight into the training because you're a mum and you're busy. So this is a real whistle-top store of the 10 ideas that I have that you could do if you wanted to break out the 9 to 5 and try and earn a flexible income around your family. So number 1 is freelance. So freelancing is just, I've had some mums that I've worked with who've gone into hand their notice and they've ended up on a freelance contract, and that just basically means you're a little bit more in control. You're a little bit more flexible about the hours that you work. So look at the 9 to 5 job that you've got now, the corporate job you've got now, and see if there's an opportunity that you could become a freelancer instead. And that's a really great step. Or look at what your zone of genius is. Maybe it's not your current career, but maybe there's something that you do so effortlessly and that you enjoy so much that other people struggle with, but it just seems to come so naturally for you. And that's what they call your zone of genius. That's what that you're here to do, basically. And so can you find a freelance opportunity where you do more of that? Look at where you can add value. If you focus on adding value, then the money will come. You just focus on adding value to the people around you, and the success will start to come back to you. So what value can you add? Freelancing is a real win-win for employers because they don't have the overheads of staff, they're not having the holiday pay, and because of that you get a higher rate of pay as well. And also it's flexible and a little bit more on your terms. So, that's one option. Following on from that, you can look at the task site. So what could you do as a standalone task? And by that I mean, what could you do that is in your zone of genius that you could do quite easily, that someone could pay you sort of £5 or $5 for, or something, or a fix, maybe it's a £30 project that you could do over and over and over again. You'd make some money on it, but also what could you upsell after that? So maybe you could do a £5 task, which is just a way of attracting the customers. There's lots of task sites, so like Fiverr and Freelancer. There's lots out there. So you set yourself up as a seller. And then what can you do once you've done that and you've done a great job? Is there like a retainer or a package that you could upsell after that? So I know I've bought from a lot of these places, and I've then gone on to get into monthly retainers with the people that that I've done. So for instance, SEO, which is search engine optimization, I bought a package from someone and they ended up doing some monthly work for me. What would you charge per hour? Make sure this is more than you would be paid as an employee, because you've obviously got your holiday pay, you've got downtime when you wouldn't be paid for any of the admin time. Obviously you still be working, so you want to make sure that your paid work covers you for that cost. You've got your marketing costs, so you do want to be charging quite a lot more than you would have been paid per hour as an employee. And also what your skills, maybe it's not your zone of genius, it's not necessarily what you love doing, but maybe there are lots of skills that you could offer. So I know I just recruited a virtual assistant because they listed out all their software that they used, and it happened to be a lot of what I use, and I thought, oh great, I could just do with someone coming in and knowing it. I'm not having to train them, so list all the different skills that you can help people with, and you'll be surprised. Virtual assistant, very, very similar to what we've been talking about, but virtual assistants are people that work from home, and they basically are an assistant for the business owner, maybe just the business, and it just means that instead of having like a full-time assistant in the business, you pay more per hour, but you're not paying for the business owner's not paying for tea breaks and holidays and stuff like that, which is why they pay more, and they're just paying you for every task they send through. So someone would send through, could you collate this document for me? Could you manage my diary? And you just charge them for the time that you spend on doing that. So you do it by a package, a retainer, you could do it task by task, whatever works for you. So think about the tasks that you could perform to help the business owner. Think about the hours that you'd work. So obviously you're doing this for flexibility and freedom. So make sure you communicate that you'll be available between these hours and this hours. You don't want people ringing you at 3 o'clock on the school run because that's not when you're available. But actually, if you're going to be a virtual assistant for mums, then being available in the evening could be a real bonus. So have a think about what hours you would work. And also think about, what would make you stand out about, on top of all the other virtual assistants out there. So is there a story, is there a backstory that you could share? Have you got particular skills? Have you got interesting things that you could share? What will help you stand out in the marketplace if you wanted to become a virtual assistant? Retailing. This is how I started. I was a retailer and I do love retailing. If you want to go into retail, think about what you love buying. What are you drawn to, because that's a great place to start. It's got to be something that you love, researching and buying. So if you love buying candles and you've got a real passion for them, maybe you know more than the average person and you know what's a good one and what's a bad one, you could set up a real specialist store around that, for instance. Think about your interests and how retail could fit alongside that. So you can add retail to any type of business as well. It can fit alongside. So for instance, if you became a virtual assistant, maybe you could retail some nice stationery to go alongside that, or planners or things like that. So you can be very creative and mix and match the different things I'm talking about today. But retail's great because you basically buy something in and you sell it at a higher price. So you can do it at markets. You could do like Saturday markets, thinking again that you're a mum, so you maybe can't commit to the weekday markets because of the school run, unless you can get a mum just to do that odd day, like a friend or something to help. You can open a shop, and I do have mums that I work with that have shops. They're a big commitment. I had a shop once, but you can make it work because you get the staff in to support. Again, you're the boss. You make it work for yourself, okay? Or you can sell online, which is what I did to begin with. And then I opened a shop, and then I started selling online again, and it's great. You've got that flexibility. So if you are going to sell online, have a think about what you're going to sell. Make sure that you don't have things that are really fragile. Learn from my mistakes. Don't send things through the post that are really fragile. Try and select something that's going to be quite light and easy to post, quite small, because postage is going to be your highest cost there. But other than that, you can store things at home. It can be a really great opportunity, retail. And again, think of your story. What makes you stand out? What's your passions? If you can link it to your backstory, so you've got a real interesting story behind it, that really helps you as well. So retail's a good option. Is there something are you very creative? So do you enjoy making things? What could you make? Are there if you enjoy sewing, then maybe it's some fabric things. Is there something new you could bring to the market? Is there something you could do better than anyone else is doing? But make sure it's profitable. Don't fall into the trap that I see many crafters do, that they're making stuff and they're actually earning less than minimum wage by the time they've paid for all their materials. So make sure that you're making a profit on top of the money that you would pay yourself or someone else to make it. Because if you want it to grow, then you want to be able to bring people in to help you make it. And to do that, you obviously need profit on top, otherwise you wouldn't then make something. So make sure that when you're pricing your products, that there is money in there, and it's worth doing. And with the business, I started the Keepsake Company, and that's how I basically use the Keepsake Company to help other people set up keepsake businesses. So making fingerprint jewellery, baby castings, impressions, keepsakes. So I teach them how to make an income from that. And the margins there are great. So make sure you pick something where the margins are really great if you're going to go down the creative route, if it's going to be your full-time income. Blogging. Do you enjoy writing? What could you write about? Is there a passion? Maybe again something like a story, like a background of something. Maybe something's happened to you in the past that you could really support others through and write about. Maybe it's not writing, maybe you like talking, audio, maybe you prefer video. I prefer video and audio because I'm dyslexic. I find writing quite difficult. Not difficult, but I'm always worried about grammar and things like that, whereas video, I can just talk to you. What could you what could you do to earn an income from it? How could you monetize, they say, your blog? So affiliates, which we'll talk about later, maybe you could add a retail string to it, maybe you get sponsorship, maybe you could turn your blog into a book once you've written the content. So blogging is not necessarily an instant income, but if you get the right support, then there's some great opportunities there, and I've got a great link to a 30-day blogging challenge if you wanted to have a look at that and get started, by one of my mentors, Sarah Arrow, who's brilliant. Network marketing, or MLM, multi-level marketing. Again, lots and lots of mums go down this option. It's very instant setup. You've got none of the overheads. You haven't got staff to pay. It's very small costs. You can build teams, but just be careful about what you pick. Don't always believe the hype out there. Make sure you do your research. Only really buy into something where you would genuinely buy the products, I think, if you're going to be authentic about it. It's not your business. Again, it's a bit like buying into a franchise. It's not your business. You'll be marketing someone else's, and there have been collapses in the past where things have gone out. So if you built a big business under this type of thing, what would happen if they went out of business or stopped trading in your country or something? And people do seem quite cautious about these types of businesses. So just make sure you do your research. But I do think there's a big opportunity there if you pick the right one. Great way to earn money, and very, very cheap. So if your budget's not there, then it's definitely something that you can look at. Affiliate marketing, I guess, in a similar way to multi-level, but not. It doesn't tend. Basically, affiliate marketing is you promote someone else's business, and if from your efforts they make a sale, they will pay you a thank you fee, basically like a percentage. And you can get affiliate deals on Amazon and not on the high street, and all the big retailers have affiliate schemes, but they're normally like 5%. If you're going to say blog, you can find companies where you could earn like £1,000 commission from various things. There are very good affiliate opportunities out there, and if we take more to business, that's definitely part of my plan, that we're going to have affiliates, so the mums that really get a lot of benefit out of what we do can tell people what we do, and if someone was to join because of that recommendation, then they would be paid a thank you fee, so it becomes a way to earn income as well. So there's definitely something around affiliate marketing, but make sure you pick the right products, and that the money that you do get back as a thank you commission covers the marketing cost, if you know what I mean. So, but I think there's a really massive opportunity, I think, out there. I think this is really, really a big opportunity if you're willing to look at it. And again, you can tie this into your blog. So if you blogged about something but found affiliate products that link to it, and if someone buys, so instead of promoting your own products, you're promoting someone else's for an affiliate commission, you've got none of the work to do in the background. All your work goes into marketing someone else. You're not having to do any of the background work. So as long as you've got the right offer, it can be very, very profitable. I know people that earn a lot of money through affiliate marketing through their blog and things like that. So, and it's also very flexible, because all you have to do is market the business. You're not having to do any of the other work, so you're not having to be, you're not tied down in any way. Perhaps you could be a coach or mentor. Have you got any experiences where you can support people through something that you've been through? Maybe you're in public relations, PR. Maybe you can coach people to do their own PR. Maybe you used to work in a restaurant. Maybe you can coach people through managing a restaurant. Or maybe it's, if you've already got business experience, then you could support them in that. If you just love helping people succeed, if you love supporting them, then I think this is a great role. It's very flexible. You basically open your diary as and when you want, people to have access to your diary. So if you love talking to people, just ask yourself what value you could add to them. What experience have you got that actually, if someone could just sit down and learn from you, that it would save them a lot of time and money, then that is actually something very valuable. And I'm sure that each and every one of you listening to this will have something where you can really add value. So maybe you're a really successful childminder and you could help other people. How do you recruit? How do you find families? How do you do all the paperwork? There's a lot of value in your experience that you could share. And following on from that, so if you didn't coach mentor, if you didn't want to do like the one-to-one work, then you could look at doing a membership site. So could you package all of your experience in that area? So for public relations PR, you could put that in a membership site, lots of training and stuff, support in a Facebook group, how you can do it. They could ask you questions. Same with, like I said, childminding. You could have a membership site for childminders and things. So again, it's a reoccurring income, which is great. It's one of my favourite things here, that you've got reoccurring income coming in. There's also regular commitment from you, so you need to be there on a monthly basis if it's a monthly thing. So it's not something like affiliate marketing where you can sell and then everything's over to someone else. This will take your time, but it's very flexible on your terms, which is what we're looking at today. And the last one, information products. So similar to a membership site, but it'd be like a one-off sale. So maybe you could put a course together so someone could buy. Maybe they could come for training in person. It doesn't have to be online. But what could you teach people? Is there a process that you could teach someone? Could you package up your knowledge into a step-by-step blueprint or program that people could see? And it could be on anything. Like I said, it could be training your dog, it could be how to play golf, it could be selecting the right wine. What could you teach people? What is your passion? What is your experience that you could teach someone to do? It could be business or personal. And think about why people would choose you. What's your story again? Why would people choose to train from you? How can you show your value and show people why they would want to buy your product? So one of the great people that I follow, his first business was showing people how to ace out an exam, a particular exam. So really think outside the box. If you've done something really well, again in your zone of genius, something that just comes naturally to you, can you package that up in some way and break it down so that it's real step by step? So thinking about how to structure your content. So what now? So if any of this is made you think, oh, actually, I could do that, or I'd like to explore that, and actually this has given me some ideas that I could maybe think about leaving 9 to 5, or I could find out a way not to go back to my job at the end of my maternity, why not come and join me on my free 2-week challenge? It's more challenge, just to take these initial ideas and start mapping them into a plan. So you work out over 10 days, what your business would look like, what products you would offer, why you want it in the first place, who's going to support you, what you want your day to be like, creating it down into a little action plan. So it's a real, very, very structured 2-week challenge, completely free, and I'd love to invite you to come and join me on that today. And just to say, if I can do it, so can you. I quit my job. I haven't done a business degree. I haven't done any business training. I'm dyslexic. I'm very creative, which means I've got that real sort of creative brain. So I'm going from one thing to the other, but I can still, I've still built a very successful business. I've built my business up to 6 figures twice with a baby break in between. If I can do it, so can you, I promise. But you just need to believe, and you just need to make a really small step in the right direction. And whether that's the challenge for you, it's free, there's no commitment, it's a lot of fun, you'll meet some new friends, maybe that's the first step, or maybe it's getting a book, reading a book on something, or maybe it's talking to a friend, or maybe it's just handing in your notice like I did. Whatever it is for you, just do something. If you really dream of breaking out 9 to 5, other people do it, so you can too. Okay, the universe doesn't decide who gets to and who doesn't, only you can. So make sure that you grab your life with both hands and just make it work for yourself. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall speak to you very soon, hopefully inside the group. But if not, have a good luck with everything. Bye for now.